everybody. I'm Miss Carey, if you don't know me, and I will be reading you a story today. I've brought my elephant along as a bit of a clue as to what our story might be about today. Okay, our book is A Piece of Cake by Jill Murphy. It's about a family of elephants, and for World Book Day a few years ago I did actually dress up as Mrs. Large, and I was very hot in my outfit because it was a very, very warm day. Right, okay, so A Piece of Cake, here we go. A Piece of Cake by Jill Murphy. "I'm fat," said Mrs. Large. "No, you're not," said Lester. "You're our cuddly mummy," said Laura. "You're just right," said Luke. "Mummy's got wobbly bits," said the baby. "Exactly," said Mrs. Large. "As I was saying, I'm fat." "We must all go on a diet," said Mrs. Large. "No more cakes, no more biscuits, no more crisps, no more sitting around all day. From now on, it's healthy living." So they throw all the cakes, all the biscuits, all the crisps, all the unhealthy foods is going into the bin. Mrs. Large looks very, very serious. "Can we watch TV?" asked Lester as they trooped in from school. "Certainly not," said Mrs. Large. "We're all going off for a nice healthy jog around the park." And they were. Oh, they're getting their jogging bits on. "What's for tea, Mum?" asked Laura when they arrived home. "Some nice healthy watercress soup," said Mrs. Large, "followed by a nice healthy cup of water." "Oh," said Laura, "that sounds nice." I think Laura must be quite hungry because she's been on that jog, hasn't she? I think watercress soup probably wouldn't be enough to eat after a big jog, especially for an elephant. "I'm just going to watch the news, dear," said Mr. Large when he came home from work. "No, you're not, dear," said Mrs. Large. "You're off for a nice healthy jog around the park, followed by your tea, a delicious sardine with grated carrot." "I can't wait," said Mr. Large. Off he went on his run. The baby saying bye. It was awful. Every morning there was a healthy breakfast, followed by exercises. Then there was a healthy tea, followed by a healthy jog. By the time evening came, everyone felt terrible. They all sat there exhausted. "We aren't getting any thinner, dear," said Mr. Large. He's weighing himself. "Perhaps elephants are meant to be fat," said Luke. "Nonsense," said Mrs. Large. "We mustn't give up now." "Wibbly wobbly, wibbly wobbly," went the baby. One morning, a parcel arrived. It was a cake from Granny. Everyone stared at it hopefully. Mrs. Large put it into the cupboard on a high shelf. "Just in case we have visitors," she said sternly. Oh dear, so she's not going to let them have the cake. Everybody kept thinking about the cake. They thought about it during tea. They thought about it during the healthy jog. They thought about it in bed that night. Mrs. Large sat up. "I can't stand it any more," she said to herself. "I must have a piece of that cake." So Mrs. Large is getting out of bed. Mrs. Large crept out of bed and went downstairs to the kitchen. Oh, I wonder what the rest of the family would say if they saw her now. She took a knife out of the drawer and opened the cupboard. There was only one piece of cake left. I think she's surprised, isn't she? One piece of cake left. Who might have eaten the rest of it? Aha, said Mr. Large, seeing the knife. Caught in the act. Mrs. Large switched on the light and saw Mr. Large and all the children hiding under the table. There is one piece left, said Laura in a helpful way. Mrs. Large began to laugh. We're all as bad as each other, she said, eating the last piece of cake before anyone else did. I do think elephants are meant to be fat, said Luke. I think you're probably right, dear, said Mrs. Large. Wibbly wobbly, went the baby, all laughing and eating the cake. And that is the end. I really hope you enjoyed that, and hopefully not long before I see you all again. Okay, bye-bye.